So what do you think about the new patch so far?
Yeah, generally pretty good.
I
Pleased with
don't
everything.
know. Like, I feel like they're just... Okay, here's my problem with the patch. The changes to the light artillery... Like, I feel like there's this
Capture
one
the
guy,
enemy
right, who
base
is
or kill all
hell-bent
enemy forces.
on having this concept where a unit can do a lot of damage without putting itself at risk. Like, that guy was told, okay, heavy artillery is not gonna work, people are complaining. So they put that guy in charge of light artillery, which is now became the same thing as heavy artillery with a few extra steps.
Yes. Yeah. I know what
That
you mean.
Yeah, that's my only problem. Like, because it fires so fast and now does so much damage, like, I remember in one of my old videos, I have talked about, hey, let's change the heavy artillery and let's, like, remove heavy artillery and instead change the light artillery to do heavy artillery's job, which is to prevent camping. That's all well and good, but now they're doing the job of the World War One heavy machine gun. I mean, look at this.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Two
mean, you can see the
seconds,
guy, yeah.
25% health. And he can't even do
Yeah,
anything because the thing is keeps on stunning him.
stun is definitely the worst bit
32,
about it. I don't think it needs the stun as well, I'll give you that.
35, 40%,
Find light
42.
artillery
Yeah.
less painful than heavy artillery. I sort of feel at least you can sort of, well, not
Yes.
see it, but at least you sort of, it has less range and is a bit more focused to a certain area.
Yes, that is true, but it still has the exact same design problem, which is maximum reward for no risk. I mean, there is still a bit of a risk because you're kind of putting yourself out there, but let's be realistic. You are going to be putting it behind your lines, and with the recent range increase with them, you are back where we started. At least it's not with one shot, so you do feel a lot more in control, definitely. So I still quite like that, but this is just getting a little ridiculous. Like, with
I know what you mean,
javelins
yeah.
to do, like I main javelins, so in order to do this much damage with my javelins, I need to be in almost close range, risking myself tremendously, and even then, it is dodgeable. While this fire just cannot be dodged.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm just getting myself caught in a fight I didn't quite mean to.
Oh, yeah.
Some Mecrotaves.
Yeah, like that wasn't enough. The recent deployables changes just emphasizes that. Because now there's no friendly fire.
I don't disagree. Not one of my strong abilities.
Right there! Swordsman!
Yes. I should. Yeah. In that fight.
Look at this. And I feel like the problem is kind of obscured because they don't receive that many points. Like, I remember the Caesar was almost instantly nerfed when they start giving him points for supporting, because it's just so visible, but here it's not as visible.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. No, I do agree.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Leave no survivors!
So to some extent, balance is always one of those things. It's
Yeah, that's the case with
Struggled
balance. Absolutely, that's the thing with balance. But I feel like there's a design principle problem,
Our base is under attack!
which is like, I understand they're trying to prevent camping. I agree with that. However, they could just have the light artillery do less burst damage. Like, I think, yeah, that's about it. If its burst damage is reduced, I think we'll be a lot happier.
yes. I mean, for me, the thing I really hate with the light artillery is the stun. I find that's the worst
Stun,
bit. I
yeah,
just like the stun.
stun in general, in my opinion, is a very controversial thing to include in your game because it directly takes control away from your players, which is the #1, like, a sin that you should not be committing in the video games and when you're making a video
And
game.
that was the problem with heavy artillery, wasn't it? I mean, the fact that
Yeah,
you
yes.
have lack of control because you're just being hit from somewhere you have no idea where it's from, sort of thing.
Yes, that's partially, but here you're wrestling the controls away from the players.
You are, yeah, definitely.
Like there, you were losing a sense of control because it was doing so much damage, and they could somehow justify it because you can see it coming. But here's the thing, I don't want to be watching the skies 1 second and then the battle the other second. This is just, it was just becoming too tedious.
For the glory of Rome.
And it was actually headache-inducing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, I think on the whole the patch is an improvement.
Yeah, I think so. Like, you know what I love about the patch? The strikes. I love them. I love them because they just, like, heavy infantry, like infantry in general, they were suffering from this lack of interactivity during battle. Like, there was nothing you could do as soon as you have engaged. So it was like kind of decided before that. But now with the strikes, you have to keep on activating them one by one to give yourself an edge.
Yes, I do agree with that. Yeah, that's it is kind of cool. It's a nice little added feature they've put in. The only downside with the strikes, which I've not really tried out properly yet, is I quite enjoy playing the War Dogs. And I'm not sure how all the knockback will. So like Shield Bash on Leonidas pre-patch was obviously really effective against War Dogs. Now that all these units have got like a knockback ability, I'm not sure if that's just going to do an absolute ton of damage to War Dogs every time.
Good point. Good point.
It's something I've not really tested yet. So
yeah, I feel like you should test it because I think maybe strikes should not be working on dogs. Maybe some of them. Like,
I just don't know. Yeah, so it's something I need to test. It's
definitely.
But yeah, no, I think on the whole the developers have tried to make changes based on what people want, like the heavy artillery changes, the elephant changes. I think they tried to. I think it's generally they've just been a few other unintentional things that have changed because like you change things like the War Dogs, you change Knockback, and if that affects the War Dogs, you don't mean for that to happen, but sometimes the consequences.
And I feel like the same thing is happening with the light artillery. I feel like majority of the team did not intend that to happen, but there's this one guy, the same guy that whenever he plays Dungeons and Dragons, he makes this secretly overpowered character and just keeps exploiting the game. That's exactly how it feels like. I know, I'm one of those guys. In fact, a quick story. Yeah, a long time ago, my friends and I in college were playing this homebrew game called 9 Hearts of Destiny. It's something that they made on their own and they've been working on it really hard for years. So it's got a pretty fleshed out combat system, and the very interesting thing I liked about it is that you can make your own spells. They had a spell making system, so you can be like really creative with the spells you cast. Well, I had this character who was playing like a crowd control, kind of like a crowd control and a support mage, but I like doing damage once in a while too. So they had these aspects called blood. But long story short, I created this spell called Blood Sacrifice, which would allow me to sacrifice any amount of health that I had in exchange for damage to my next spell. So, okay, you have that spell, and then for the rest of the campaign, you have this guy trying to get equipment that gives him as much health as possible.
Yeah,
so I ended up becoming, from the looks of it, I'm just becoming a suboptimal, like a tank mage. In truth, it's a boss killer. Then comes the time to fight the last boss, right? He's got like 3,500 health, something like that. No, I don't remember how much health he had, but me and this other guy were playing this really min-maxed characters. He would do the damage, and I would heal him. I would support him and things like that. paralyze the enemy so that he could execute his bullshitty wind-uppy attack. But that's not my goal. At the last boss, and according to the campaign, the person who kills him becomes the lord of that realm.
Okay, yeah.
So, and we entered a pact that we would allow another NPC to get the kill shot. GM probably added that to, you know, kind of prevent inconsistencies in the story. Well, so I had some spells cast on me that increased my maximum health, and I was already leveling for health. Then I decided to cast Blood Sacrifice at level 30. At this time, he allowed us to level up just boost our characters to level 20. So you have that spell that was okay in level 8. Like at that point, it would give like 2 HP per. 2 health per HP. When I put all of my points into it, it ended up being, well, 20 damage per HP. I charged myself up. Next thing I do, boss is half a health. And I'm just, you know what? Let's do this. I said I cast Blood Sacrifice and sacrifice all of my remaining health but 1 point. It charges my spell. We don't even calculate the damage at that point. And then the GM's eyes go wide and like, you what? Wait, okay. You still need to hit the boss, so I rolled the dice. I rolled the dice for a hit. Boom! 99. It's within my crit range, which means double damage. The GM's eyes go wide. Oh no. He starts looking through his book. Like, what the hell can I do to stop this? Because this is not supposed to happen. So I do. I cast the Wrath of Nature with my remaining mana point. Oh, sorry, I cast a heal on myself to make sure I didn't, I don't know, stub my toe and die the next turn, because GM hates me at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Then I cast Wrath of Nature, which is another spell that I made. So because they're, to balance it out, they had some of the spell schools have limited amount of health, but you could add secondary effects. So like it would add so many diseases, you would think you spent 20 years in a crack house. So that's why it's the Wrath of Nature. It gives you all the STDs. So I cast the Wrath of Nature on the boss. It's a crit. It does like 1200 or so damage. Then the GM goes, the boss is dead. It's dead. It's fucking that. So he drops the booklet, goes to another room, and then his friend follows him, who was the guy who was playing the OP, who was playing the other OP character. And then I hear the sounds. It killed my boss! It just ruined my campaign! It was supposed to be an epic boss fight! You finished it in the 3rd turn!
Brilliant. I like it.
Then he comes back. Alright, you dick. For breaking your pact, the other NPC attacks you. And I'm like, huh, does he? I turn to my allies and they're like, does he now? Mind you, at this point, the rest of my allies are at full health. So he can't even do that. He can't even do that at that point. Like, everybody was on GM's side until he pulled that off. Like, everybody was skeptical about him because I kept on going blood for the blood god every 2 seconds. Okay, maybe 3. So they were kind of annoyed by that, and the fact that I accidentally killed someone who we were supposed to capture by completely forgetting we were supposed to capture him. So, well, I kill him and I steal his powers. So they think I did it just to increase my powers. Until that point, everything was going good, then I ruined the campaign. And we never played again. Well, mostly because it was that GM... Oh, by the way, it was such a big deal because it was that GM's last campaign ever. Like, he was moving to another state. So, yeah. It was pretty good. But yeah, going back to the patch, I'm liking it. I just don't know, like this new range change makes my javelins feel a little too weak.
Don't really know that. I've not played javelin since the patch. What's changed?
What has changed is all the missile units have received a nerf across the board. Their damage has been nerfed, but their missile dispersion has been improved. So now we are able to shoot from behind our lines without worrying much about the friendly fire. Like, there's almost no friendly fire at all. So that's one good thing. Also, they have reduced the cooldown of focus fire, which is again to reduce that friendly fire. That's all well and good, but in general, I feel like I'm not doing as much damage. That's the problem, because most of the time, we do not encounter situations where we have to fight behind our lines. So, ironically, most of the time we are intercepting some unit with our fire, and right now with the with the barrage being what it is, which is against javelins still an insta kill, that creates a bit of a problem. So we can't do as much damage, as much DPS before we have to run away from archers. At least that's my impression so far. I feel like I haven't tested so like that good. Maybe in time my opinion will change on that. But I feel like it was a slight nerf to javelins and a buff to archers, because with their reduced missile dispersion, even from afar, they're not doing much. They're not doing much friendly fire.
No, I see. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's not much of a change, but buffing archers has indirectly nerfed javelins.
Yeah, I guess that's similar to kind of in a way than what I was saying about sort of the unintentional changes that they sometimes.
Yeah, with the dogs. Yeah.
Capture the enemy base or kill all enemy forces.
Play the javelin. I do quite enjoy playing javelins, but I've not played them since 3.1.
Yeah,
I'll have to give them a try and see how they feel.
Yeah, they're. I like them, but mostly because they play like a mage in an RPG. So high risk, high reward, very difficult to play, and very easy to die. I like that.
But they are strange javelins, really. But yeah, I like them. Generally a good thing. So high reward. It's quite fun when you start cutting people down with a.
Yeah. Right now, I feel like it doesn't have the same impact though.
The enemy has drawn first blood.
Oh, looking at the elephants here, I feel like the elephant nerf was actually pretty good. I'm seeing a lot less elephant spams. So that's one good thing.
It's predominantly a good thing. Yeah, I had a few problems killing them still, but then I guess that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I think that's their role is supposed to be, but because their armor reduction, I can definitely see they're definitely dying easier.
I think the main change to them in that sense is the fact that they're more vulnerable to things like archers now than they weren't previously.
Yeah.
Damage for infantry units is still pretty low because of the knockdown. They can do stomp and everything. Obviously means that they.
And the removal of Pillar, I kinda don't like that. Like, speaking of elephants, like, I really liked, like, I used to have this method with my infantry, where I would take a few shots with my, with my javelins. On the third shot, I would throw my pillar because it would kill a lot more of their men.
Yes. Yeah.
So my next volleys would do a lot more real damage. But now, with the heavy infantry losing their pillar, I can no longer do that. Felt like that was a fun thing that I used to be able to do.
I know what you're saying. No, I don't disagree.
Yeah, and I think they have added the slow down due to missiles to every unit or something. Like, at least to the heavy infantry they have.
Swordsman! Run! Swordsman! Ready? Aim!
Oh, very nice, very nice.
But I don't really want to.
Behold the wrath of Rome! Tell them! Remember, we are lions! Quick march!
Such a good idea. With tier 7s.
Let Bellona lead your blades! Swordsman! Attack! Beat them back! Repel them back! Swordsman! The fallen eagle!
How's this going? Oh, we'll hold them here.
Quickly! Swordsman! Swordsman! Charge! Leave no survivors! Repel them! Parry!
Matchmaking this one. We're getting a lot of tier 9s in this game.
Yeah, that is true. I'm 1v1ing against this, I'm a Terraitet guy. It's a lot of fun.
General is slain! Athman!
Like, heavy infantry duels can be very interesting. Like, he won the charge, but I won the strikes, so...
Okay, kind of cool.
Like, check out
yeah,
what's
you
going
get
on
down
in the middle.
I see it. I'm gonna try and get.
The gods are with us! Swordsman! Swordsman! Destroy! Swordsman!
Well,
Repel them! The enemy
See,
base
it's
will
a
soon
really
be
nice
ours.
damage boost that they get with
Fight
this.
to the last man!
With these strikes.
Kill! Swordsman!
there you go. That's a really close fight for you.
Yeah.
The gods are
Quite
with
is.
I
us!
didn't know.
Repel them! Attack! Swordsman! Parry!
Well, I just beat... Alright. Screw it, guys. I won! Haha!
Right there!
Ooh, stakes there. Well hidden.
Swordsman!
There are no more... Alright.
Quick march! Swordsman!
Get good, son!
Swordsman!
Yeah. I have just fully killed one player and the 2 units of Praetorians, which are tier 9 heavy infantry. I am happy. And I didn't even bring any consumables. Yeah.
Swordsman!
Have a look what's holding this watchtower up here.
Alright.
Your command!
I'll try to go and harass the heavy artillery with whatever I've got left.
Swordsman! Swordsman! Run! Commander! Our base is under attack!
Jesus Christ.
Swordsman! Swordsman! Double time! Swordsman! Quickly! Charge! Cowards! The men are routing! To fight to the last man! Leave no survivors! Attack!
Not sure where that artillery is sitting.
The gods are with us!
Just, oh, it's over there.
Beat them back! Swordsman! Destroy! Quickly! Yours to command!
We like these Carthaginians very much.
The enemy base will soon be ours! Let Bellona lead your blades! Destroy! Repel them! The men are
Well, I'm dead. You know, now that I'm dead, in the background I was watching this video about Channel Awesome. Have you ever heard of them?
Is under attack.
Okay.
No, have you heard of them?
I've heard of.
Channel Awesome. I think your mic is going out.
It could well be.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Just be my internet having a moment.
Could
It does
be.
that sometimes.
Yeah.
Enemy heavy artillery. This enemy artillery, but I think they're probably going to predict what I'm trying to do, to be honest. Here or not, probably. Seems like a good idea. I'm not so sure.
Yeah. So what unit do you think they should add next?
I'd say that again. Never turn this bloody music off in game. That's the one thing. It's making me hard to hear you. There's so much in-game music.
Yeah, that's true. I was saying, which unit do you think they should add next?
Oh. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to think of. There's lots of cool things that would be nice to add, but it's just hard to know how they've balanced them. I think it's like.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Like they want to add all these factions and units, but if they don't do it right, it's gonna be a balanced nightmare.
Yeah, it's like, you know, chariots and horse archers and lots of things that would be cool, but it's kind of like the elephants, isn't it? That.
Yeah, and I think a lot of them in the end will end up becoming just a gimmick, just like elephants.
I could be inclined to agree. Yeah.
I mean, they could be an important part of the thing.
We're under attack.
Could be an important part of a tactic, of a strategy. At least, like, it gives us more tools, which I like. But might also end up becoming a bit of a gimmick. Fortunately, unlike an MMORPG, there's no necessity to make everything useful. After all, same people can play a different unit. It's no big deal.
Yes. Yeah.
Not surrender.
Because as I was talking, I got reminded of Guild Wars 2 and how some classes would just end up being useless. There, sure, you can play any other character from level 1, and when you go to the PvP area, you get maximum level character anyway. So it's no big deal, and I believe that's partially what they used. But, you know, when you're balancing for PvE or open world PvP, you have to take those into account, so you can't just alienate a section of your audience who are maining a class you decided to make obsolete.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So here I feel like they might have a little bit more leeway. Or I guess I should give an example of World of Warcraft where they don't have that. as far as I know, at least.
I do agree. It's the balancing aspect of it which I think is hard to achieve.
Also, the extra, I feel like, I don't know. What I'm trying to say is adding more units, will it actually make it better for marketing? I feel like no. No. And the reason for that is this. We have seen over the years a lot of games, a lot of MMOs, a lot of MOBAs who try to boast their huge amount of classes and stuff. Like Guild Wars 1 comes to mind, where you can have almost infinite amount of class combinations because you can cross-class. It did not make the game much better. I mean, sure, it sounds good on paper, but from a consumer standpoint, I would rather have people coming to me and saying, hey, this game is really fun to play, rather than, hey, it's got a 6 gazillion classes, you know.
Yes, I would agree. Like you say, yes, it'd be better to work on the core content than necessarily than just creating lots of new unit types.
Yeah.
That's while we're on this sort of topic, that's something I've always thought would be quite interesting to know is sort of what player numbers we've had in the game since we've gone into open beta.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people have signed up for the game, and then how many people have played, say, over 20 battles or something. I think that would be really interesting to know, and compare that to, say, like World of Tanks when it started.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of interesting to see sort of what the game trajectory is looking like. I feel like obviously a fair amount of people have joined since beta, but I don't know if I feel like it's been as many as, you know, I don't feel like I'm quite on the World of Tanks level of success yet in terms of the game.
Yeah, although World of Tanks had a very long time of development and staying in beta and alpha as well, so.
Oh, that's true. But yeah, it'd just be interesting to get some statistics from.
That is true. And you know, speaking of statistics, you know what would really instantly improve Total War Arena experience? Something that they already have in World of Warships that I really, really like. If we could have, when we are queuing up, if we could know how many people are queued up for that tier band when we queue, I would be very happy.
That would be good. Yes. Yeah. So if you're waiting for 5 minutes, but you know you're only one player short, you're happy to wait that little bit longer. But if you're the only person queuing, then you know there's no point in sitting there for 5 minutes waiting.
Precisely. Like right now, we have just guesswork. Like right now, I just have a guesswork that I will not be able to find high tier games when it's like after 7 or 8 p.m. for me.
That's an interesting. Yeah, that is a good point. That would be cool to add. That would be something simple to add that they could do.
Yeah, I have no idea why they haven't added that yet. Like, it has no... The only drawback that I can see by some paranoid dumbass executive who is going, oh, if they know how many people there really are, they'll think a game is not popular enough. I'm sorry, but the game is in beta. Relax.
Yeah, no, I agree. That would be kind of cool to have as a feature.
Okay, just a sec. I'm getting a phone call.
Swordsman! Quick march! Apex! Tortoise! The enemy has drawn first blood. Quickly! Swordsman! Awaiting orders! Double time! Apex! Quick march! Apex!
didn't go quite according to plan.
Leave no survivors! We're under attack! Shields in position! Run! Vengeance! Tortoise! Apex! Parry!
Put in a cavalry fight with some tier 9s.
Aim! Fire! Alliance!
That's fuck.
Orders understood. Kill! Quick march! Let Bellona lead your blades! The men are routing! The fallen eagles avenged! Swordsman! Our men have rallied!
Why do the dumbest people call just exactly as I'm playing?
Destroy! The gods are with us! Behold
Hey Evo, are you still there?
of Rome!
Yeah, sorry, I'm still here. I'm just being slaughtered.
Oh.
Parry!
Yeah, same thing here.
Swordsman!
From what I can see by Arminius,
Fight to the last man! Kill them!
Arminius infantry.
Parry!
I could have played better, but yeah, I was on the phone.
Yeah, I didn't do particularly well. I just can't compete. Tier 7s can't really do much against these tier 9.
That is true. There are some tier 8 archers over here. Looks like I'm protected.
Swordsman! Repel them! Enemy base will soon be ours! Destroy! We have killed their general! Slay them!
Cavalry. Your final little, final little bit of life. Are you going to win or lose? Okay.
The gods
Yeah,
are
most
with
likely.
us.
That's fine. When I'm playing premium units, I don't lose any silver.
Quickly!
See, like in fact, Pauls a long time ago suggested I make a power leveling video, which I think I am gonna make. It's
What,
just
to get your commander level up?
no power leveling, which is like how can you use your premium, best way to use your premium units to maximize your XP and silver gain.
Okay.
Our base
So
is under attack!
that's what I think I'm gonna do sometime, but I already have content lined up, maybe later.
Let Bellona lead your blades! Swordsman!
I was going to ask you, are you like going to be almost entirely Total War Arena going forward? Do you think, in terms of your content?
In terms of my content, actually, no. I intend to cover strategy games in general. In fact, I was recently, just today, I was playing Heroes of Might and Magic 5, and you know what I realized? It's the perfect game to play in the background, because when it's minimized, you can play it windowed, and you can have your Windows taskbar showing. That way, whenever you find a match, you will know, and because the game is turn-based, there's no need to pause it.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So that's one thing, but in general, I'm gonna be covering strategy games, I think. Like, you know, I already do some Stellaris videos. I think I'm gonna do some Their Billions, like maybe like a review. But the review part, I'm not sure, because I haven't done anything like that yet, and I don't think I'm gonna be doing many reviews. Like, it would be something like a novel thing, so I'm skeptical about doing it to begin with.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's interesting. It's interesting to hear. 'Cause, yeah, it's a similar-ish sort of thing. I probably will stick a little bit more to some of the Total War Arena games. I certainly want to do a little bit on what of it, Thrones of Britannia, when that comes out.
Yeah, bigger names are already doing it, so like its novelty is gonna wear off, and I don't see anything particularly groundbreaking with that game. So like I feel like the main sensation of it has already been withdrawn from YouTube because they got the reviewer copies.
I know what you mean. I don't disagree. I think you're right. Like you say, trying to compete with bigger games is harder. Certainly. I guess I kind of want to play it anyway. I've probably got more of an interest in it because obviously I'm I'm kind of want to play it because I like my British history.
Yeah.
So
I'm not saying that there won't be any content. There won't be any content. I just feel like there you will be directly competing. I don't know. Like, it really depends on how you put a spin on it, really. Like,
I agree with what you're saying. Yeah. Like you say, you'll just be it will be similar to the other content, and like you say, bigger YouTubers have already got copies of it and have already done videos on it. So yeah, it will be. I think for a couple of episodes of it, once a week, something like that. I think that'll be fine as something. If nothing else, something just for me to play.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would hurt. I don't think it would hurt at all. Like, yeah, that's the question. I would still do it if I was interested, but I'm just not interested enough. Mostly because Total War Attila kind of left a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to Viking content and like that period.
Yeah.
Like, I played its campaign and I just kind of didn't like it. Like, I was playing as Denmark, and it was all well and good. But then the naval warfare was kind of fun, but then Britain was just such a slog to fight in. It just got boring. I was winning, but it was like a lot of attrition, things like that, and it felt like trying to play a Total War game while playing on like a survival, because balancing that food with all these like climate changes, events that are happening, and because goals are mostly based on, hey, just survive until this time, it kind of didn't sit well with me.
Yeah, no, I know. I can understand that, definitely. They sort of, because I think at the end of the day, most people play Total War games for like the battles and the conquest type thing. So if they start to make it,
like, they could have pulled it off, but just give us goals like in Medieval 2, like concrete goals, rather than, hey, survive this long. That would be good. And the bonus objectives, I feel like, are just a little too out of the way and don't have that much of an incentive.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I think that's fair enough. Yeah, I think you put some valid points. It's yeah, I do a few 2 videos as well, occasionally, like once every 3 weeks or something. A very slow running campaign when I just have fancy having a bit of a play, because that was my favourite Total War, I think. Medieval 2.
Oh, Medieval 2, yeah. Especially the mods. Like, I liked the original. I played the stainless steel mod, and then the Third Age. I played Third Age years ago, and I can still recount almost every turn. Like,
I agree. I enjoyed the stainless steel.
Yeah, it was just, stainless steel was great. I beat it twice, but the Third Age, it was just so memorable partially because it felt clunky. Like, you know that it's kind of not supposed to play like this, but you're still doing it, and it feels good. Like, it reminded me a lot of Battle for the Middle-earth 2, minus the usual RTS nuisance. Like, it reminded me of in Battle for Middle-earth 2, they had this mod, what was it, World Conquest, whatever, where it was, you would have like a world map. It would be like Total War, except still Battle for the Middle-earth 2. Annoying part was you could not keep the units you produced within that match. So any battle is actually just a match. So it was a little immersion.
Campaign map. Yeah.
It was a little immersion breaking because you start with a worker and you basically play the normal 101 game, except with the units that you brought from the world map. So you're like, well, why don't I just have my original units defend the base and just the units I produce attack? And not just that, why can't I take the units I produce? They're still my units.
Yeah.
Or do it like Total War. Yeah, or the way they should have done it like Total War. You can't produce any units when you're there. You're supposed to fight with the given resources. But that would have forced them to make a lot deeper combat. Because their combat was a little simplistic.
Or in the middle.
Anyway, let's get back to back to the game. Can you send one of your cavalry to me for buffing?
Well, I could do, but now some... Oh, hang on. Would do, but some phallicsmen have cut me off.
Oh, I see.
The actual... That's something I always think is pretty poor. The actual buff for the Carthaginians, I think, is pretty poor. Mediocre. It's like, what is it? It's 12% melee defense, 15% melee attack.
Yeah, in fact, in my oh wait, that video was never released. I actually made like an opinion video that my the people I showed to kind of didn't like, but they liked the Carthage part of it. I mentioned it there. It feels a lot weaker. Like, I feel like individual buffs should be stronger with Hasdrubal because it's not area of effect, while with Caesar, because they are area of effect, Caesar just outscales the guy.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Caesar is a much better support commander. The debuffs are quite nice. It's minus 60% melee and 35 melee attack, 60% melee attack, 35% melee weapon damage. At the moment, I'm tier 7, so obviously it will get a bit stronger. Which is quite nice. That's kind of like... Attack is nice.
Well, Caesar's one just makes you useless. Now with the strikes, because it also silences your strikes, it's even stronger. By the way, right now I am pinned down by light artillery, heavy artillery, and archers.
Like you're having, particularly, I'm just about to engage some enemy cavalry.
Lead your blades! The fallen eagles avenged! The fight! Charge! Swordman! Repel them!
Oh, still 4.6k. That's something.
A lot of defense points.
Yep.
To the last man! Cowards! The men are routing!
Doing on my channel, I start doing some replays from like some of my subscribers and stuff, which has been quite good fun.
Yeah, I'm actually doing it as well.
It's quite a nice way of doing it, and if nothing else, it's an easy way of making a video because it's nice to have someone else.
True, but I feel like it could have been a lot easier because CA is definitely not making our lives any easier with that. Because, for example, if a person makes a replay, we cannot see which ones they have favorited, so we have no idea. The only way I found a way around it is if they give me the time that they have played, where they have played, and maybe some of the player names, because when I look at them, it sorts them on my time, not theirs.
Yes, it does. It does indeed. Yeah, you're spot on there. Yes.
So it becomes very difficult to find which game it is.
Yeah, I've done exactly the same thing as you. I've basically set up just a text room on my Discord where I've got it like written out how I want people to submit it. So yeah, time, date, map, commander, and their in-game username, and that's normally enough. I can find it because even if it's a couple of hours out on time difference, I can normally look at the minutes and seconds and sort of work out where it is from that.
Yeah, I usually have to work by the what's its name, the day the battle was fought. The time, I need to do some math that I would rather not do, which is actually, there's no point for us to do it. It should be listed in the order that a person played it on their time.
That would make it easier.
Yeah, that would make it a lot easier.
But having said that, I do quite like the actual in-game viewing system. I like the fact that...
Yes. The replay system, other than those problems, is actually quite good.
Yeah, it's quite nice. It's quite easy. Once I found it, I can load it up, get all my recording set up and everything. I find it quite nice to use once I'm going.
That is true. That is true. The I have no complaints with the current replay system. I still, you know, I've been doing my Battle of the Week even before the replay system was on, and the current replay system makes it a lot easier. It's
Yeah, that's how I feel. Generally,
yeah,
it's
like I
generally it's
feel
good
like
fun.
it has all the bases covered. It's got start and pause. It's got remove fog of war. It's got player switching. That's about all we need.
Yeah, yeah, it's nice that you can switch players and see like the fog of war from their point of view, so you can see whether you can be seen when you're hiding in
Yes.
forests and things like that. So that's all pretty cool. Could do with a quick. It could do with a rewind button. Would be nice,
Yes.
so I can go backwards in time.
Mm-hmm.
So generally, it's pretty good. And
Yeah, but usually for me that's not a big deal.
yeah, no, I don't normally need to. It's just
Yeah, like a rewind would be nice that I could focus on like a specific point. So what I like to do, I like to, if I have the time and patience, what I do is I watch the game and then I commentate it afterwards if I haven't seen it. Sometimes just to surprise myself, or if I'm feeling a little lazy, I will just watch it and commentate it as it goes.
yes, yeah.
I've seen both. I've seen both ways. You know, their benefits. They have been pretty okay. So, almost 5K, doing almost nothing. Yeah, that's the thing with this game is that the point system. Now let's talk about the point system. It's a little not really consistent with your contribution to the battle. Like this battle, I felt like I basically did nothing. Instead, it gave me 5K points.
Obviously, yeah, because you got a lot of defense points, which is just being shot, isn't it? Really. So, I kind of agree slightly.
Yeah, like sure, doing that should give you some points, but I don't know. I feel like there are more important things than blocking archer fire, such as, you know, supporting your allies, just holding together. Right now, you only get support points for like doing that morale buff thing, but it's so inconsistent. It's so inconsistent how you're going to get a flank secured buff and how you're gonna get flanked. Yeah, the flanking system is completely broken right now. Like, in fact, I remember this guy running around exploiting it. So he does is he blobs 3 units and then pulls through with all 3 and then gives the attack order as soon as he has a few men through your unit, forcing your unit to get flanked even though you're only fighting from the front.
Yeah, yeah.
You might have seen it around. That is one thing that needs to be fixed. Like the flank supports and the flanking needs to be a lot better. In general, it's okay, but when you're playing against like really good players, it becomes really visible. Or sometimes, or vice versa. I'm surrounded on three, 4 sides. I'm not getting flanked, but or the same thing happens to the enemy. I'm clearly surrounding him from 3 sides. He should have been routed, but he's receiving only flank debuff. Have you ever encountered that?
Yes, yeah. Sometimes, not very often, but occasionally, yeah.
Yeah, I encounter that fairly often with heavy infantry.
A little bit less on the heavy one. I'm much more of a cavalry player, I guess.
Yeah.
I think. There's going to be a lot of damage with those. Sometimes the heavy infantry fights.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is just throwing away so many of his infantry. That was a good move. Tracy, you must be nearly at 1,000 subscribers.
Somewhere along that line, 875 or something. I haven't had good growth in within this week though. Like maybe just a
I've
few
noticed.
subs every day.
I think I your channel the other day and thinking that I'd slowed a bit this past week as well. I just wondered if there'd been a bit of a drop off in people searching for sort of arena content.
Yeah, that might be a better question to ask to Roman. Although, I gotta admit, I could have done a lot more in terms of content. At least, backlogged a few more episodes. Like right now, I've got enough content to last me one more week. So I'll need to produce more content this week or next week.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. Today I woke up early actually just to catch some of the Russians so that I could interview them, but none of them were online, so that was annoying.
Yeah, no, yeah, I try and keep it like I'm going on holiday at the end of next week, and
yeah,
like
then,
I normally try and do daily videos, so that means I'm like away for 5 or 6 days, so that's 5 or 6 videos I need to try and get pre-prepared just for that period. And then...
Yeah, so what you should do is just prepare in advance. Like if I'm not feeling like it, that way I won't have to produce videos.
I'm normally like 3 or 4 videos, so 3 or 4 days in advance.
Yeah, I usually do weeks. At least for my scheduled shows, sometimes I do extra stuff.
Yeah, I sometimes like have a few which I have as like emergency episodes if for whatever reason.
Yeah, like for example, my Stellaris stuff are usually kind of spontaneous.
Okay. Yeah, just when you fancy playing the game.
Yeah, when I've been playing the game, if I've got something to say about the game, like I was planning to have the review of the patch ever since it was released, but it just so happens that the Total War Arena beta was released at the same time as that patch.
Yes, yeah, so they clashed.
Yeah, so they clashed and I had to grind. So yeah, right now I'm trying to grind up some gear for my tier 10s. Tier 9s. Like I can go tier 10 right now, just don't. Because there are very few tier 10 games, so it's gonna be a waste of XP.
Yes, yeah.
And it's a big waste, like prematurely doing it at this point because there are no games is gonna be really bad because that unit XP, that free XP you could have used for something else. So farming it through the unit XP, yeah, might be the best way in the long run. That way, like I was about to get the tier 10 javelins, but then I realized tier 9 javelins and tier 10 javelins both use the same equipment in some of the ways. So I bought the same equipment on tier 9 instead.
Yeah, I try and do that with all my units, where you can buy the equipment on a lower tier. Yeah. I tend to do so. Like sometimes you just get like, I don't know, helmets that are compatible for the next 3 tiers or something, or is usable on a couple of units up. So I always try and get everything in advance.
Yeah, I don't do everything. Just the critical path.
Well, it was. We absolutely beat them on points. We got like 10,000 more team points than them, but we completely lost the game.
Yeah. Let's convert some XP. You know, they should change the unit icon and the XP conversion with Legio Hispana and Praetorians. They look exactly the same.
Or they just sort of copied and pasted the...
Yep, they did. And I'm finally out of gold.
Ready!
Officially.
Servant of the Republic.
Alright. I'm gonna play one more game, then I'm gonna take a break.
Hopefully we can win this one.
Yeah, I don't mind it. The goal here is to grind.
I nearly got the final armor upgrade with these guys, and then I can start grinding for the tier 8s.
That's good.
Nice matchmaking, not too bad. Nice matchmaking, you're the only tier 8 on our team.
Oh. Yay.
The pressure's on.
Nah. Not while I have my premium units. So do you intend to cover... Oh, by the way, Roman intends to start doing his shows as well. He's going to be creating content for me as well.
Yes, I did briefly speak to him the other day, actually, and he was saying getting his PC sorted. He got a new PC.
Yeah, he has ordered his PC now. Now he's going to start making content, so that's going to be fun.
That's nice. Means you'll either get more content or make your life easier.
Yeah, I think
nice.
we will see. For now, the plan is he's gonna have his own shows in the days that we don't have it scheduled already. So right now I've got Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Yeah. Like, I'm trying to get the clan spotlight as like a regularly scheduled thing. The problem is it's so hard to get a hold of these people. Like, they come to me and say, "Hey, I want to I want to talk about my clan and the clan highlights." I'm like, "All right, awesome. When will you be available?" "Oh, I'll let you know." Or sometimes they say, "When you're available." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm available." Now where are you?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's annoying. Okay, let's see. Okay, I just lost around 22% of my health within 3 seconds.
And on that ridge line at the back. They suit this like perfectly for them, isn't it?
And I can't do anything.
You can do is just try and run, isn't it? Yeah, it kind of sucks.
Ironically, these units that were supposed to prevent camping are causing camping to begin with. Now my only option is to fall back out of its visibility and just sit there until the enemy makes a mistake.
Yeah. It does, because like my only option, so obviously I can't really go... Well, I could try and push across the centre, but with those slingers there as well, makes it really hard to... some sort of a offensive unit around there other than just like artillery and slingers, so...
Yeah, you know what I'm thinking? This has came out a lot. This has came up a lot. The way they could prevent camping is by adding dojos. Honestly, that's it. Sure, it would be unrealistic, but it would be better than it would be more realistic than these laser guided heavy artillery or light artillery that's basically pre-World War I machine gun.
Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah, certainly. Like artillery do fire a little fast. It's,
Yeah, like it shouldn't fire this fast.
Swordsman! Charge!
to the side. Looks like there's a bit of a better battle going on. Ooh, nice church.
Swordsman! The fallen eagles avenged! Back! Parry! Swordsman! Slay them! Behold the wrath of Rome!
What we can do.
Lead them back! Swordsman! Parry! Swordsman! Commander! The gods are with us! Repel them! Swordsman! Parry! Destroy! Swordsman!
Get out of there.
Quickly! Leave no survivors! Kill! Swordsman! Slay them! Repel them! Leonidas lies dead! Attack! Remember, we are lions! Run! Attack! Swordsman! Swordsman! Beat them back! The gods are with us!
Okay, we are having a bit of a fight in the north.
Repel them!
Hey, you're getting them. You must be getting some nice amount of points there. Here you are.
Yeah, you could come in and buff me up,
Beat them back!
or this. But buffs would be nice.
I'll buff one of you, and I'll debuff an enemy as well.
To the
Yeah.
last man!
If you want.
Parry! Swordsman!
These spearmen are turning up, so I better get out of there.
Yeah.
Beat them back! Swordsman! Swordsman! Parry! The gods are with us! Repel them! Swordsman! Beat them back! Quickly! Let Bellona lead your blades! Fight to the last man!
Oh yeah, we finally wrapped us. Yeah, didn't give me a lot in terms of points.
Yeah, that's the life of being a support.
I'm surprised it hasn't been changed yet. You've seen there's no points available basically for supporting.
Yep.
Seemed a little strange.
Yeah. Unfortunately, same thing goes when I play Caesar. Like, I may kill two, three players, and like with my group, even more. Like, even alone, if I kill 2-3 players, I don't get as many points as I would with Leonidas or Germanicus.
Focus your fire! Ready? Aim! Fire! Right there!
Hey, withdraw. That's in the woods. Yeah. Got
Yeah.
pretty big debuffs there.
All those.
Quick marks!
Lots of pieces.
Yeah, try pulling them towards me.
Stakes anymore, do they? Do they still affect cavalry? Friendly
Nope.
stakes?
Nope.
That's nice. I know it worked with infantry. I didn't know it worked with cavalry as well.
Yep.
That's nice.
Friendly. In
What
fact,
easier.
I feel like that's how they changed the caltrops. Now caltrops drop right underneath your feet, but none of your friendly units are affected by it.
Unica is dead!
You don't get your own javelins stuck on your own caltrops if you deploy them too close.
You no longer choose where to deploy them. They are automatically deployed right underneath your feet.
Swordsman!
Really? Oh, so you just press the button.
Yep, you just press the button and it deploys automatically under your feet. Well, it might sound easier. I don't like it because this way I can't block cavalry charges without moving out. So I just need more practice.
I see.
Like, it's not better or worse really, but it's different. I don't like it because the previous one required a bit more skill. This one requires you to move around to use it the same way.
Saying, yeah. I don't know if I prefer the sound of that or not. That just sound. I don't know. Yeah, a shame they didn't put it so that it doesn't affect your own units, but you can still pick where they place. That would be ideal.
Yeah. Well, let's go cap that base.
And something to actually do some damage to. What is that?
Just run through me and take care of it. In case you're wondering, yes, when I'm marching to the enemy base, I alt tab.
Just because it's just, well, they're quite slow, aren't they?
Yes. I might as well go and watch a movie. That's how slow they are.
Well, this game for me. The light artillery is already set up and just decimating the Romans. Artillery, I'll have to. There you go now. It's been quite powerful. Let's see what it's like.
That's interesting. Class 2 student fails to solve a maths problem. Enraged teacher pierces his throat with the wooden cane.
Play. Okay. No Crypt of the Wrath.
So what's the lesson here? Don't do math.
Maths hurts.
Yes. Math kills people.
Our victory draws
Don't do
near.
math.
Swordsman, quick march.
What a shocking performance.
We have claimed
There we go. Got a few points for capping.
In fact, I'm yet to see another male mathematician who is not either single or married to another mathematician. Just saying, there is a pattern.
I will do what must be done.
Hey, that gave me just enough experience to buy the body armor I wanted.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. In fact,
9,000 experiences.
yeah, a lot of times I get into arguments with my friends because they bring it up. What is an attractive quality? Like they keep saying, like when they're talking about someone, they're like, "Oh, he's really intelligent," and I look at them and go, "Really? Wait a minute. Since when is that an attractive quality? I mean, if that was true, you would have a lot more. You would have a lot less virgins in libraries and labs than you would have at the gym.
Yes. Yeah, very true, I think.
So, don't get me started with that. Question you need to be asking: does he have abs? Yes, no, that's it.
Yeah, the important things that girls care about.
Not that I care about it, it's just a lot of my friends get into that argument, and I end up being the third party. It's like, people, come on. We've got more important things to discuss. Like philosophy, or charges, or heavy artillery. I don't have many friends, as you have noticed. Just kidding. Like Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, I do. That's something I do know.
Yes, that's good stuff. I got these friends who visit me periodically to play Magic with me, mostly because they haven't won a single game against me yet.
I'm not very good at it, but
and like, my friends get so mad at it, like they don't get why they're losing, and I'm like, have you considered that 1, your deck is average at best, 2, you're playing the wrong cards.
it's all I like doing is when we used to play with like 5 of us,
Yeah.
all I used to like doing is playing like counter decks. So, and then I just randomly, like, when no particular targeting anyone, someone will just use a really good spell, and I'll just be like, nope, cancel that.
Nope.
Nope, you can't do that.
See, that's why I like the free-for-all games. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know what spell is gonna get countered. Because normally when you're playing, you look at your opponent's hand and you see, okay, he has only 1 card, he hasn't used that card since the start of the game. That's most likely a counter spell.
Yeah, like you say, yeah, when you're playing, but when you're in the big groups, you never know what's going to happen, and
Exactly.
and that's why I love the counter decks, because I don't even care if I win. I'm not really even playing to win. I'm just playing to like fuck everyone else over.
Exactly. See, I play this
Hamilton
control
annoy
deck,
everyone.
and I play this control deck, and I make it in a way that attacking me is the worst idea ever. Like, if I attack, I won't do much damage, but you should not attack me anyway.
That's brilliant. Yeah, no, it is good fun.
It is. It is. Counter spells are hilarious. Like, I got this modern deck. It's got this card called Ulamog's Nullifier, which is it's a monster. It's a flash, and it can counter a spell.
Nice.
It's like an I win card. It does everything.
Nice. Right, I'll probably take a break there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. I was about to take a break. I'm thinking play another game of Heroes or something. Well, man, guess I'll see you later. Try to prepare for that Hasdrubal guide we're gonna make.
Yes, yeah. Well, I'm certainly up for it. So,
all right.
It's sort of a good time for you, and we can sort of hash something out and come up with a plan.
Tomorrow.
Possibly. I am.
If you're available.
Going out slightly drinking this evening, so
that's okay. Later tomorrow.
It'll be a very productive. Yeah, later tomorrow might be better.
Yeah, when you have walked off that hangover.
Yeah, that might be a bit better. But so yes, yeah, okay. Well, I'll perhaps see you around tomorrow then.
All right, see you tomorrow.